The Dragons of Blueland by Ruth, Stiles, Gannett. This is the third book in the trilogy. We read My Father's Dragon and we read Elmer and the Dragon, which were the first two books. This is AR 4.9. This is a very old book. It's kind of falling apart. What went before? Once a baby dragon flew away from home to ride on a cloud, and he fell off onto a place called Wild Island, hurting one wing so badly that he could not fly back to his cloud. The fierce wild animals of Wild Island tied him to a rope, and when his wing got well, they made him fly them back and forth across a muddy river. An old alley cat exploring the island saw the miserable dragon. They became good friends, and she promised to help him escape. When she went home, she told Elmer Elevator, a brave boy of 9, all about the dragon. He set off to the rescue and tricked the wild animals, cutting the dragon's rope just as the animals were about to catch him. About to catch him too. He jumped onto the dragon and off they flew. Then Elmer remembered that he'd better start back home to Nevergreen City. The dragon offered to fly him, but a terrible storm forced them down over the ocean. Just by luck, they landed on a sandbar near an island, and when they waded ashore, they found that only canaries lived there. Elmer met an old canary friend who introduced them to the Canary King, King Can the 11th. The king asked if they would dig up an old treasure chest, explaining that he was suffering from the dreadful disease of curiosity and could not get well until he had seen that treasure. Elmer and the dragon finally found the treasure. Everyone joined in a wonderful celebration, and afterwards Elmer and the dragon flew off to Nevergreen City. The dragon left his good friend on a wharf and started back to his own home in Blueland. So that's what happened in the first two books. And we're going to start today with chapter 1, The Hiding Place. Chapter 1, The Hiding Place. Over the harbor, past the lighthouse, away from Nevergreen City, flew the happy dragon. I'm on my way home to the great high mountains of Blueland, he shouted to the evening skies. At last, I'm off to find my 6 sisters and 7 brothers, and my dear, gigantic mother and father. He sped northward over the coast of Popsicornia. He flew all night through the dark, scudding clouds toward awful desert, which surrounded the mountains of Blueland. I must be careful, he thought to himself, that nobody sees me on my way. But I'll have to stop and rest somewhere. Where can I hide? I've grown as big as a buffalo. And my blue and yellow stripes and gold-colored wings will certainly attract attention. The darkness faded into morning, and looking down, he saw green meadows, fields of corn and potatoes, a road wandering past barns and houses, and a brook zigzagging back and forth across the road. Perhaps I can find a bridge to hide under, thought the dragon, but I'll have to hurry. Soon the farmers will be up. He swooped and coasted down to a place where the road crossed the brook. Gently he landed and pattered down the bank to hide underneath the bridge. But there wasn't any bridge. The road had been built right over the brook, and the water flowed under the road through a culvert, a long, round tunnel, and the culvert was too small for a dragon to hide in. I'll try another crossing, he said to himself, scrambling up the bank and galloping down, there's a picture of it, and galloping down the road as fast as he could to the next crossing. But here, too, a very small culvert carried the water under the road. Oh, dear, he muttered as he galloped on farther between a yellow farmhouse and a big yellow barn. Just as he was passing, he heard a rooster scream and a window slam shut in the house. Where shall I hide? Where shall I hide? He panted. And then he came to a third crossing. He tumbled down the bank and found another culvert, but a big culvert, big enough for a baby dragon to hide in. He crawled inside, wading through shallow water that cooled his hot, sandy feet. What if someone in the farmhouse saw me? He kept thinking as he stretched just far enough to nibble the tasty skunk cabbages and marsh marigolds growing outside the culvert. And then, as he ate and cooled off, he felt tired and happy and almost safe, and he dozed off to sleep in the culvert. Next time, we'll read chapter 2.